What if that blurry moment between wakefulness and sleep isn't just a transition, but a unique state where your mind unlocks hidden truths, and reality itself can be rewritten? That's hypnagogia.
Buckle up, because what we're about to unveil isn't just a secret. It's the secret your own brain has been keeping from you, hidden in plain sight. Imagine a state where profound insights, breathtaking visions, and even answers to your toughest problems bubble up to the surface simply by being on the verge of sleep.
Right on that edge.
Think of the greatest minds in history, from Einstein sketching out his theories to Edgar Allan Poe crafting his darkest verses. What if they weren't just brilliant, but also masters of this hidden power?
It's a compelling thought, isn't it?
We're talking about a unique dimension of consciousness so potent, so enigmatic, it feels like peering through a curtain into another reality. And here's the kicker. You, my friend, experience it almost every single day.
You really do, often without realizing its potential.
Stick around, because we're not just going to tell you about it. We're going to show you how to command it, how to turn that fleeting moment into a wellspring of genius and self-discovery.
And that's precisely what Andreas Mavromatis has done in his groundbreaking work, Hypnagogia, the unique state of consciousness between wakefulness and sleep. He's taken what many dismiss as mere drowsiness.
Yeah, just feeling sleepy.
And revealed it as a vibrant, incredibly rich gateway. Mavromatis has meticulously mapped this unmapped territory, transforming it from an overlooked flicker into a profound universe within our own minds.
Wow.
Our deep dive today is all about demystifying this powerful, often unnoticed state, guiding you through its astonishing phenomena, revealing its profound implications for everything from creativity to self-discovery.
All the good stuff.
And most importantly, uncovering practical, accessible methods for you to experience it firsthand. Get ready for a mind-bending journey.
I'm ready. Let's do this. So let's peel back the layers here. We all get the big three, right? Waking, sleeping, and dreaming. They're the household names of consciousness.
The familiar ones, yeah.
But what about that fuzzy, often ignored space between them? That shimmering borderland?
That transitional zone.
That, dear listener, is our star today. Hypnagogia. It's the unique state of consciousness that occurs as you drift into sleep.
And its counterpart on the way out is hypnopompia.
And its often forgotten cousin, hypnopompia, is what you experience as you're slowly waking up. Think of it as a secret door that your brain opens for you almost daily, a threshold to a different kind of awareness.
And Mavromatis makes it abundantly clear this isn't just some brief, momentary flicker you ignore. It's a profound, extended transitional period.
Not just blinking and you miss it.
Not at all. Historically, researchers treated it as a little cultivated area, a collection of scattered observations. What Mavromatis does so brilliantly in his book is to gather all this disparate knowledge.
Bringing it all together.
Exactly. Bringing together a vast body of work that truly challenges our fundamental definitions of wakefulness and sleep. He argues that consciousness isn't a simple on-off switch, but a fluid, graded, and dynamic spectrum.
Much more nuanced.
Very much so. He defines hypnagogia as the entire transitional period leading into sleep, whether your eyes are open or closed, right up until true sleep fully takes hold. It's not a single point. It's a journey, a landscape to explore.
A journey indeed. And get this, the concept isn't even new. A 10th century tantric text actually labels it the fourth state.
The fourth state, imagine that.
Considering it crucial for the very continuity of consciousness, seamlessly linking sleeping, dreaming, and waking. Imagine, ancient mystics and philosophers were already clued into this incredible phenomenon.
They recognize its significance, yeah.
And the reason this matters to you is simple. You've been here. You know that moment when your mind starts to drift, images softly float, maybe you hear a faint sound, but you're still you.
Still aware, exactly.
We're still consciously present even as the world shifts. What if that mundane drift is actually your brain subtly opening a hidden channel, preparing you for an extraordinary voyage of discovery?
It's a compelling thought, isn't it? That those everyday moments of twilight awareness are anything but mundane. Mavromatis proposes that these are the moments when the curtain between our structured waking mind and something far deeper begins to thin.
Okay, so the veil gets thinner. I like that. Now, this is where it really comes alive. Forget abstract theories. We're talking about a full-blown sensory explosion that transforms your inner world into a vibrant, living spectacle.
It really does.
Mavromatis' categorization of these phenomena is so meticulous, it's like he's describing a new continent of the mind.
And the most widely reported experiences are often visual, a true feast for the inner eye. Many subjects describe starting with moving clouds of bright colors or mist, or little luminous wheels, little suns that whirl rapidly round.
Little wheels, wow.
But it quickly evolves. Others detail thin threads of gold, silver, purple, and emerald green, which seem to cross over or curl up in 1,000 different symmetrical patterns, continuously vibrating, forming innumerable little circles, diamonds, or other small regular shapes. This isn't just random static. It's a sophisticated, dynamic, internal light show.
So it's like a cosmic geometric ballet unfolding behind your eyelids, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And here's something fascinating. The book notes we are hardly ever really confronted with total blackness behind closed eyes.
Even in the dark, there's something.
Instead, there's a constant shifting canvas of visual phenomena. Mavromatis calls this Eigenlicht, or idioretinal light.
Eigenlicht, inner light.
And some researchers argue it's the raw, fundamental material from which all our hypnagogic and dream visions are constructed. It's the brain's baseline visual output.
That's a crucial point, suggesting our minds are always producing visual information, even when our eyes are closed.
Always on, in a sense.
And what's seen isn't always grand. Visions often appear as living miniatures, seemingly close, sometimes within the eye itself.
Tiny little scenes.
Yeah. Yet the opposite is also true. People or objects can grow bigger and bigger until I cannot picture them or fade away to a single point.
Whoa.
These are known as micropsias and megalopsias, an incredible elasticity in perceived size and scale.
Talk about a visual roller coaster. One moment, a tiny miniature, the next, a colossal figure.
It can be quite dramatic.
And it's not just abstract patterns or size distortions. People report seeing everything from hideous or grotesque faces to exquisitely delicate ones, some so detailed they feel like portraits.
The level of detail can be stunning.
Entire landscapes can unfold before you, scenes of great brightness, outstanding buildings of unusual construction, and vivid natural phenomena like raging storms, flowing rivers, and thundering waterfalls.
Fully formed worlds appearing.
Can you imagine seeing a whole string of bears and elephants, as one subject reported, one behind the other like a string of sausages just before you nod off? It sounds like a surrealist dream.
It truly is a boundless canvas, often independent of any conscious thought.
Right, you're not trying to see it.
Not at all. What's perhaps even more remarkable are the sensations of travel without moving.
Okay, now that sounds intriguing. Travel without moving.
Subjects report exploring expeditions through houses, streets, and country lanes, or wandering through vast cathedrals, sometimes feeling invisible to the people they meet within these mental worlds.
Invisible, like a ghost.
In a sense. They describe walking through walls and doors with an indescribable feeling of happiness and freedom.
Okay, that's the part I want. Happiness and freedom walking through walls.
Collard, for instance, recounted coming face to face with laughing children who simply walked through him without noticing.
Wow.
Another, Ouspensky, described finding himself in a corridor built of transparent, iridescent planes, like being inside a prism, feeling an intense sense of happiness and pure liberty.
That feeling of happiness and freedom during travel without moving sounds absolutely incredible, but it also raises questions about our physical perception. Does Mavromatis propose any mechanism for how our mind can generate such a vivid sense of spatial displacement without actual physical movement?
Well, he links it back to that loosening of ego boundaries we'll discuss more later. The usual sense of being located in the body becomes less rigid.
Ah, okay, so the boundaries blur.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what's the mental trick behind something so vivid, yet so unbidden? It's like your brain is showing you a movie you didn't even know it was filming, and you're the star.
Totally unscripted.
That independence is key. Mavromatis suggests our conscious imagination operates within certain frameworks, often limited by what we expect to see or create.
Right, our usual boxes.
Hypnagogia, by contrast, taps into deeper, pre-conscious wellsprings, almost like the brain's internal film studio starts playing a reel you didn't commission.
The B-reel from the subconscious.
Something like that. These images are often described as independent of any effort of imagination, not imagination at all, and strikingly different from any deliberate visualization.
So it feels different from daydreaming.
Much more vivid, minute, and intricately detailed than anything you could consciously conjure, because they bypass the usual sensors and directors of the conscious mind. And this unbidden quality extends beyond visuals. The auditory landscape, for instance, is just as varied and often carries that same undeniable sense of being given rather than made by the mind.
So on the auditory side, it's not just silence. Sometimes figures you see will mouth words without sound, like a silent movie, which is hauntingly specific.
Creepy, almost.
Other times you hear distinctly soft and clear voices, or even a chorus of mocking voices that seem to vibrate inside your head.
Yeah, internal sounds.
Strange crackling noises or beautiful, complex music can also fill this internal soundscape. Mavromatis shares the account of one person hearing a woman's voice distinctly say, "He isn't asleep."
Whoa, that's direct.
Another experienced tiny grinning faces in misty blue circles, accompanied by a chorus rapidly chanting, "That is it, you see, that is it, you see." Seriously, a full-on opera sometimes.
It's an internal concert hall of the mind. And it's not just sights and sounds. Your very body can get in on the action with somatosensory surprises.
Oh, the body stuff.
The classic falling sensation is almost universal. You know, the one feeling like you're falling off a cliff on a toppling ladder or tumbling down the stairs.
Oh, yeah, everyone gets that.
Often followed by a sudden bodily jerk and an alarming awakening. But Keller, in his research, found a staggering 79% of subjects reported this.
The dreaded hypnic jerk. That's wild how common it is.
It really is. And beyond that, people report all sorts of body schema distortions. Feelings of numbness, swelling, floating, drifting, or body parts changing size.
Weird body feelings.
It's like your ordinary body awareness starts to loosen its grip. You might feel a sudden rush of heat or cold or tactile sensations of being touched.
Feeling touched. Okay, that's interesting.
Even the more subtle senses like olfactory and gustatory can kick in, with a variety of smells and tastes manifesting out of nowhere.
Smells and tastes, too. Wow.
It's a testament to how profoundly the brain's interpretation of the body can shift in this state. And then there's synesthesia, which is truly mind-bending.
Synesthesia, where senses cross over.
Exactly. This is when one sense involuntarily triggers another. You might have visual images appearing in response to sounds or physical sensations giving rise to specific visual forms.
Okay, give me an example.
Mavromatis provides an excellent one. Someone having a hypnagogic vision of a slightly cupped left hand and then becoming physically aware that their actual left hand was pressed under their head as they rested.
No way. So the brain interpreted the physical pressure as an image.
Precisely. It's like your senses are getting crossed wires in the most beautifully or sometimes bizarrely integrated ways.
So your brain is literally connecting dots in real time in ways you wouldn't consciously expect. And these phenomena aren't limited to the onset of sleep. They can continue after waking, which Mavromatis calls the hypnopompic echo.
The echo effect, yeah.
Spinoza, the philosopher, famously recounted waking from a heavy dream and seeing a scurvy black Brazilian before his eyes.
A very specific image.
Which vanished when he focused on a book, but reappeared when his gaze drifted. Another woman reported kicking at a dream figure standing at her bedside, only for it to vanish as her foot reached it.
It truly blurs the lines, doesn't it? These experiences can linger, making us question the solidity of our waking reality.
Absolutely.
This isn't just a fleeting moment. It's a profound transition that can spill into our conscious experience, urging us to reconsider what's real and what isn't.
So we've talked about what hypnagogia is and the incredible things you see, hear, and feel in this state. It sounds like you're watching a movie, not directing it.
Often, yes.
Yeah.
That's the initial feeling.
So if these experiences are so vivid and often feel out of our control, how on earth can we possibly do anything with them? This is where Mavromatis introduces a fascinating paradox, a counterintuitive secret to harnessing this power.
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? If it's not imagination, can we truly influence it?
Right. Can you steer the ship?
Mavromatis reveals that the ability to control or even subtly generate imagery isn't about active striving or brute force concentration. Instead, it demands a passive concentration, a passive volition, and crucially, a deep receptivity.
Passive concentration. Sounds like an oxymoron.
It does, doesn't it? Think of it like gently steering a magnificent wild river. Rather than trying to dam it or force it into a new channel, the core idea is that hypnagogia thrives on psychophysical relaxation and an inward-turned, passively receptive attention.
Okay, relax and be open.
Any attempt at active concentration or effortful thinking can actually disrupt and terminate the state almost instantly.
It's that classic trying too hard phenomenon where nothing happens.
Exactly that.
This state demands a completely different approach. It's less about being the engineer of your mind and more about being the curious observer, leaning in without judgment. It's about letting go and trusting the process.
Well put.
Mavromatis introduces a powerful concept here, the loosening of ego boundaries, or leaves.
Leaves, yeah.
This is the core phenomenon where the usual distinctions between internal and external, between self and object, begin to blur and soften. This ego fluidity is what allows for incredibly novel connections and what Mavromatis calls multisociation.
Multisociation. Linking disparate things.
Where seemingly unrelated concepts or senses can merge.
Precisely. It's a state where the usual filters and rigid definitions of waking consciousness are relaxed. This allows for a more fluid and interconnected mental experience.
Less rigid structure.
This detachment from rigid self-boundaries is exactly what makes it so conducive to unusual perceptions, sudden flashes of insight, and those travel without moving sensations you mentioned.
It connects back to that.
It enables your mind to wander freely and make connections that would typically be censored or deemed illogical by your waking ego. This next chapter is called Techniques of the Masters and How You Can Try Them.
This is where the how-to gets really exciting, because what we're talking about now are actionable steps you can take.
Practical methods.
Imagine the impact on your life, from boosting creativity to finding calm, if you could harness this. First, the absolute foundational step, the bedrock of induction, deep relaxation and psychological withdrawal.
Can't skip this one.
This isn't just lying down. It means consciously letting go physically and mentally, detaching from your day's worries and sensory input.
A real letting go.
Mavromatis notes that simply cultivating this intentional relaxation, even without fully entering hypnagogia, can have significant therapeutic benefits, combating high blood pressure, stomach ulcers, anxiety, and general neurotic disturbances. It's a mental reset button.
It is indeed a powerful antidote to modern stress. Building on that, the next technique is passive concentration or receptivity.
Okay, step 2.
It's about cultivating an attitude of quiet receptivity and interest, allowing images and thoughts to arise unbidden and simply observing them without judgment or analysis.
Just watch the show.
Edgar Allan Poe, a master of the macabre and the mysterious, claimed to possess the capacity of inducing or compelling these states within himself.
Poe knew how to do this.
He claimed so. This wasn't about forcing visions, but a deliberate cultivation of that receptive, open attitude, a mental stance of waiting and watching.
So you're not trying to force an image or an idea, but rather creating the perfect mental environment for it to show up and then giving it your gentle, curious attention.
That's a great way to put it.
And here's where it gets even more fascinating. Surprisingly, even simple autosuggestion can gently influence the imagery that arises.
Gently nudge it, yeah.
Mavromatis shares the experience of Alexander, who noted an image transforming into a frog just by thinking, that resembles a frog.
Just a thought shifted the image.
Another incredible account is from a correspondent who, after being awakened by barking, laid passive and saw a tree trunk. He then thought, mushrooms perhaps? And they became mushrooms.
Wow.
Then, no, playing cards, and they transformed into playing cards complete with pips. He then willed plants to blossom, and they did. He noted his mentality was most keenly awake and absorbed in this quite new development.
These anecdotes beautifully illustrate the delicate balance. It's not about forceful conscious imagination, but a gentle, almost playful suggestion within a deeply receptive state.
Like whispering to your subconscious.
It's like whispering a request to your unconscious mind and watching it respond. And history is dotted with figures who, whether they called it hypnagogia or not, actively employed methods to induce this state for their genius.
And we're talking big names here. Think about the legendary inventor Thomas Edison. He had a famous trick.
Ah, yes, the ball bearings.
He'd sit in his chair, usually after long hours of work, holding ball bearings in his hand, placed directly over a metal plate on the floor.
Simple setup.
Just as he drifted off into that sweet hypnagogic state, his muscles would relax, the ball bearings would clatter onto the plate, waking him up just in time to capture the brilliant ideas and solutions that had been bubbling up from his preconscious mind.
Perfectly timed wake-up call.
It was a deliberate, almost perfectly designed strategy to mine his brain for inventions.
And his contemporary, the iconic surrealist painter Salvador Dalí, used a very similar, equally dramatic method.
Dalí, too. What did he use?
Instead of ball bearings, he used a spoon held over a plate. As he nodded off, the spoon would clatter, waking him to immediately record or sketch the bizarre, irrational, yet profoundly symbolic images that populated his hypnagogic state.
The spoon drop. Genius.
He directly embraced these unreal visions into his art, showing that this state can be a deliberate tool for creative ideation.
Right, he didn't filter them.
The key, as both these masters knew, is to catch the insights before they vanish, which they tend to do with frustrating speed. Beyond these classic, almost theatrical tricks, modern science offers methods too. Techniques like biofeedback training and sensory deprivation experiments can effectively induce hypnagogia.
More controlled approaches?
Using precisely tuned tones to guide your brain into specific alpha-theta brainwave states, or even something as simple as ping-pong balls taped over your eyes with white noise, a technique known as the Ganzfeld effect. The Ganzfeld, yeah. Sensory deprivation.
Can lead to vivid hypnagogic experiences. These techniques essentially mimic the conditions of natural hypnagogia, gently guiding your brain into that optimal threshold state.
These methods offer a more controlled way to access the state for those who might struggle with purely passive induction.
Good options to have.
And what's truly exciting, what we're building towards, is that the insights this state can offer go far beyond just cool visuals or new inventions.
Yeah.
The implications go so much deeper.
Seriously, what if it could bridge the gap between your conscious mind and something far, far deeper? A wellspring of profound knowledge and even other realities.
It opens up some fascinating possibilities.
Stay tuned, because we're about to explore its connection to some truly unreal realities, and trust me, it's going to make you question everything you thought you knew about your own mind. Okay, get ready to have your mind absolutely blown, because we're moving from fascinating observations to paradigm-shifting revelations.
This is where it gets really interesting.
We're talking about direct quotes from Nobel laureates and literary giants here. This isn't just about dreaming up pretty pictures. It's about unlocking profound, world-changing solutions. This is where hypnagogia becomes a superpower.
It absolutely does. Mavromatis builds a compelling case that hypnagogia isn't just a space for random mental wanderings, but a natural meeting place for what some might call madness and what we celebrate as creativity.
The edge of genius.
The classic example is August Kekulé, the German chemist. He famously saw the complex cyclical structure of the benzene ring in a dreamlike state, a snake biting its own tail while dozing by a fire.
The snake eating its tail. I've heard that story.
He vividly recounted, "Atoms gambling before my eyes, all twining and twisting in snake-like motion. Look, what was that? One of the snakes had seized hold of its own tail. As if by a flash of lightning, I awoke.
Just boom, the answer appeared.
And this time also I spent the rest of the night working out the consequences of the hypothesis. This wasn't just a random dream. It was a profound scientific breakthrough, born from the threshold of sleep."
That story alone is the stuff of legend, and it's far from an isolated incident.
Not at all. The brilliant mathematician Jacques Hadamard described finding solutions to incredibly complex mathematical problems at the very moment of sudden awakening.
Just waking up with the solution.
Noting a solution long searched for appeared to me at once without the slightest instant of reflection on my part, and in quite a different direction from any of those which I had previously tried to follow.
A completely new angle just presented to him.
Even Albert Einstein himself, renowned for his abstract thinking, valued images in thought, suggesting his most famous insights often came in a nonverbal visual form, a kind of thought experiment played out in his mind's eye.
Thinking in pictures, essentially.
Mavromatis explains this through a concept he calls the new vertical organization of concepts.
Vertical organization, what's that?
In our waking state, we tend to think linearly, logically. Horizontally, you could say. Hypnagogia, however, allows for the interrelating of extensive and normally entirely unrelated and diverse schemata, vertically connecting different layers of thought.
Connecting things that don't normally connect.
Exactly. This is precisely why the solutions and connections that emerge can feel so irrational or unexpected in the moment of discovery, yet profoundly logical and elegant upon waking.
The logic becomes clear later.
It's like your brain is suddenly free from the linear thinking of our conscious mind, connecting dots across vastly different fields of knowledge.
So it's not just about getting any new ideas, but getting these almost miraculous, unexpected connections that solve old problems in completely novel ways.
That's the power of it.
This primitive form of thinking in hypnagogia requires less effortful thinking, allowing perceptual pictures to emerge spontaneously, often being the source of brilliant discovery.
Effortless insight.
And here's another fascinating detail Mavromatis highlights. These solutions and ideas often come with an almost undeniable awareness of significance or a feeling of certainty.
That gut feeling, magnified.
Making them feel profoundly important and true, even before they've been consciously analyzed or verified. It's an intuition that screams, this is it.
That feeling of certainty is a hallmark of the hypnagogic breakthrough, differentiating it from mere fleeting thoughts. It suggests a deeper validation from within the mind itself, a profound inner knowing.
Your deep mind saying, pay attention.
Many artists and scientists have adopted this approach, intentionally thinking about problems before sleep and then allowing the solutions to throng upon them at awakening.
Sleeping on it, literally.
Brindley, the famous engineer of Britain's canals, was known to reportedly go to bed for days until a difficult problem was solved, implicitly trusting this internal hypnagogic process to deliver the answer.
Days. That's dedication to the process. Isn't that absolutely wild? The idea that your own brain, your very own mind, holds these incredible, almost magical capabilities just waiting to be tapped.
It really is astonishing potential.
That the difference between struggling for an answer and a brilliant breakthrough might just be a few minutes at the edge of sleep. If you're as blown away as we are and you want to keep diving into these mind-expanding topics, do us a huge favor. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hey, why not join our amazing community by becoming a member? Your support helps us keep these deep dives coming, and trust us, we've got so many more astonishing secrets to uncover together, mysteries that will redefine what you think is possible.
And perhaps, in this very state of diffuse attention as you're listening, you might even find new insights into what we've shared today. Every engagement helps foster this shared exploration into the depths of human consciousness.
Well said. Okay, let's keep going deeper. Now let's turn the dial up even further, if you can believe it.
Buckle up again.
What if this state isn't just about personal genius, but about touching what many describe as other realms of experience? Mavramatis suggests hypnagogia blurs the lines with some truly otherworldly phenomena.
It really does.
Pulling back the veil between our everyday reality and something far, far more profound.
This section is truly where the loosening of ego boundaries fundamentally changes our perception of reality, allowing for experiences often categorized very differently, everything from incredibly vivid dreams to what some consider paranormal events, and even spiritual enlightenment.
Wow, that's a huge spectrum.
The spectrum of human experience.
First, let's talk about dreams without sleep. This concept alone is mind-bending.
It sounds paradoxical, right?
Hypnagogia can actually be an active dreaming state, a kind of double consciousness where you're both acutely aware of your physical surroundings and simultaneously immersed in a dream narrative.
Aware of both worlds at once.
Mavramatis shares the remarkable accounts of the Marquis de Saint-Denis, who reported unbroken transitions from full wakefulness to active dream participation.
A smooth slide into the dream.
Vividly experiencing an entire dream drama while still fully aware of being in his bed and in his room. He could describe luminous arcades or a serpent covered with emeralds, all while consciously registering his physical self.
That's incredible awareness.
This double consciousness state offers a unique opportunity for developing lucid dreaming, where you can observe and even subtly control dream imagery, becoming a conscious participant in your own inner narrative.
It's a natural gateway to lucidity.
It's a natural precursor to fully conscious lucid dreaming. And Mavramatis also highlights a truly practical application, how hypnagogia can help you solve recurring nightmares.
Oh, that's useful.
Ouspensky, in a hypnopompic state, had a recurring mud dream which felt allegorical and frightening. In this twilight state, he realized it was simply the physical sensation of his legs tangled in the bedclothes.
The physical causing the dream image.
This provided a practical, non-allegorical explanation, demonstrating the power of insight in this transitional state to literally untangle your mind.
That's a huge revelation, isn't it? Imagine understanding your deepest fears as just tangled blankets.
Seriously. But hold on to your hats, because the book presents compelling evidence that hypnagogia is significantly conducive to what are often called psi events, telepathy, clairvoyance, and even out-of-the-body experiences, or OBEs.
Okay, here we go into the really out there stuff.
It's like the brain, in this state, becomes a psychic tuning fork, sensitive to signals beyond our normal perception.
The conditions Mavramatis describes for inducing psi states, deep relaxation, passive concentration, a blank mental screen, are strikingly similar, almost identical to those of hypnagogia.
The same recipe, basically.
He details how developing psychics often report a significant increase in hypnagogic phenomena, and that visual psi experiences are practically indistinguishable from hypnagogic ones.
So the experiences look the same?
Phenomenologically, yes. Many psychics describe this moment as a switching off of the analytic mind and a switching into a different channel of reality, where the physical world fades into the background.
Tuning into a different frequency.
That's one way to think about it.
And it gets even wilder. Mavromatis includes reports of shared hypnagogic experiences where two individuals seemingly have identical visions or conversations at the exact same time.
Shared mental spaces.
Can you wrap your head around that? One person saw and conversed with a friend in a hypnagogic state, only to find out days later that the friend had an identical experience at the same time in a vivid dream.
That's hard to explain conventionally.
It makes you wonder what kind of profound, subtle connection is truly happening at the edges of consciousness.
Then there are out-of-body experiences, or OBEs. These often occur when subjects are deeply relaxed, lying down in a semi-conscious condition.
The hypnagogic state again.
Often accompanied by sensations of floating, sinking, or whirling, alongside temporary sleep paralysis, a condition naturally occurring in hypnagogia.
Ah, the paralysis link.
Occultists for centuries have actually sought to induce this very state for what they call exteriorization, explicitly recommending hypnagogia as highly conducive.
They knew this was the time.
Robert Monroe, a pioneer in OBE research, described it as perhaps the easiest and most natural method. Some practitioners, like Muldoon and Carrington, even suggest specific techniques, like keeping an arm vertical while drifting off. As you relax into hypnagogia, the arm falls, waking you to capture the emerging OBE.
That's a seriously direct way to provoke an OBE, like Edison's ball bearings, but for OBEs.
A similar principle, yes. Triggering wakefulness at the critical moment.
And in both OBEs and profound hypnagogic states, there's often a powerful feeling of all-knowing and understanding, a sense of omniscience.
The knowing feeling.
Much like those reported in near-death experiences. It's a feeling that one knows things without thinking, that everything is easy and possible, a profound inner certainty.
This feeling suggests a dramatic shift in cognitive processing, where information is accessed in a much more holistic, immediate way.
Direct access.
And if that wasn't enough, this state also have profound links to ancient mystical and spiritual practices aimed at enlightenment. It truly is where cutting-edge neuroscience meets the sacred.
Absolutely. Mavromatis masterfully connects hypnagogia to mystical states and meditation.
The parallels are striking.
Many traditional meditation techniques, particularly those found in Raja Yoga, mirror hypnagogic factors perfectly. Psychophysical relaxation, psychological withdrawal from external stimuli, and absorbed attention on an inner focus.
The same core elements.
The first 5 stages of Patanjali's yoga, for instance, are, in essence, consciously induced hypnagogic factors designed to guide the practitioner into this very threshold state.
Trained meditators often fall into these hypnagogic-like twilight states, using focused, non-analytic attention to achieve states of passive potency and attentive receptiveness.
Passive potency, I like that.
Emanuel Swedenborg, the 18th century scientist and mystic, would reportedly relax, close his eyes, and focus intently on a problem with total concentration, which would lead to profound, almost prophetic insights.
Using it like the inventors did.
This practice, Mavromatis argues, leads to perceptual and cognitive de-automatization, where the ordinary filters of waking consciousness are relaxed.
De-automatization, breaking down the usual habits of perception.
Exactly. This allows for a reality transfer, where internal thoughts and images feel intensely real, almost as if you're seeing the actual electrochemical activity of the brain as dancing lights and colors.
So it's not just a fuzzy feeling, it's a tangible, vivid experience that literally changes your perception of reality itself.
It can feel incredibly real.
It's like your mind is becoming one with the universe, perceiving the underlying fabric of existence. Van Dusen, a psychologist and researcher in this field, suggests that the deepest level of hypnagogia can actually be a satori, or an enlightenment experience.
A glimpse of enlightenment.
Where the questioner and the answerer are one, where your mind breaks into infinite images, sometimes appearing as gigantic mandalas. Imagine seeing a giant, intricately carved, dynamic mandala unfolding in your mind's eye.
It's profound imagery. It's important to note that William James's 4 defining marks of mysticism, transiency, passivity, ineffability, and noetic quality, are also largely shared by hypnagogia, along with other phenomena like déjà vu.
So lots of overlap.
Mavromatis suggests that the distinction between a genuine mystical experience and its subsequent interpretation is crucial, much like distinguishing a raw hypnagogic insight from its waking, analytical processing.
The experience versus the story we tell about it later.
Precisely.
It sounds almost too good to be true, doesn't it? a gateway to genius, to potentially psychic abilities, and even spiritual enlightenment.
There's always a flip side, or at least a complexity.
But like any powerful tool or any deep exploration, this state has a more sobering aspect. Mavromatis, with scientific rigor, carefully examines the overlap between hypnagogia and certain mental states, reminding us that knowledge without insight or grounding can be a path into delusion.
This is a crucial section of the book, as Mavromatis is careful not to judge or diagnose, but to draw objective parallels in phenomenology, the shared experiences.
Just describing what looks similar.
The key distinction, he argues, often lies in the awareness or insight of the individual experiencing it. Hypnagogia shares several key symptoms with schizophrenia.
Okay, what kind of symptom?
Including various forms of hallucinations, visual, auditory, and complex multisensory, bizarre associations, profound thought disturbances, neologisms, made-up words, and even word salad. And significantly, that very same loosening of ego boundaries that we've discussed in a positive light.
So some of the very things that make hypnagogia so profoundly creative and insightful can, in a different context, be indicators of mental distress.
It's about context and control, or lack thereof.
Mavromatis vividly describes these phenomena as the transformers of reality. As hypnagogia deepens, the perceptual barriers that usually block or filter information don't just disappear, they transform it to fit an internal, often idiosyncratic logic.
The inner world starts warping the perception of the outer world.
This can lead to experiences felt both internally and externally, blurring the distinction between subject and object, similar to how schizophrenic patients may experience their own thoughts and feelings as not their own, yet unfolding externally in the world around them.
That loss of distinction is key.
The crucial defining difference, then, lies in the loss of insight.
This is critical.
While a normal hypnagogist usually knows that their experiences, however vivid, are internal or ultimately unreal in the objective sense.
They retain that observer perspective.
Individuals predisposed to mental illness can lose this vital insight. They might begin to believe these hypnagogic phenomena are external reality, leading to a state of delirium or full-blown delusion.
The experience takes over completely. Mavromatis cites cases where initially frightening hypnagogic hallucinations were precursors to paranoia, as with a woman whose visions of soldiers beating drums eventually became a persecutory delusion.
So it started in that state and bled into waking reality as a delusion.
That's the danger he points out.
It's the ability to retain reality testing, even if briefly, and to consciously return to an analytical state that differentiates the hypnagogic explorer from someone struggling with a mental health condition.
It's about keeping one foot grounded, so to speak.
This isn't about fear. It's about deeply understanding the brain's incredible power, its dynamic nature, and its inherent fragility. It underscores the importance of mindful awareness when delving into these altered states.
Absolutely. Respect for the power of the mind.
So after all that incredible imagery, profound insights, and even unsettling parallels, the big question remains, how on earth does our brain actually produce all these incredible, sometimes bizarre experiences?
That's how behind the what.
Mavromatis takes us on a fascinating tour of our inner architecture, revealing a symphony of consciousness where ancient and modern brain parts play a surprisingly crucial role. It's like discovering the orchestra behind the magic show.
It's a beautiful metaphor, and Mavromatis really dives deep into what the neurophysiologist Paul MacLean termed the schizophysiology of the brain.
Schizophysiology. Sounds complex.
It just refers to the different, sometimes conflicting, operational modes of different brain parts. He suggests that hypnagogia isn't about one single brain area taking over, but rather a dynamic interplay between our evolutionarily older old brain, referring to the subcortical structure,
The primal brain parts.
and the more recently developed neocortex. This interaction helps explain the blend of primitive, raw sensory experiences and more sophisticated, sometimes symbolic insights we observe.
Old meets new.
Hypnagogia, he details, is strongly correlated with increased activity in these subcortical structures, the old brain, which includes the limbic system and the thalamus, while cortical or neocortex activity, responsible for our waking logic, critical discrimination, and self-awareness, significantly reduces.
So the logical part quiets down and the older part gets louder.
It's a good way to think about it.
So it's like your brain is downshifting its modern operating system, the rational logical neocortex, and letting the ancient primal parts take the wheel for a bit, creating a totally different kind of processing.
A different operating mode kicks in.
This is why you get those raw, unfiltered visions and sensations we talked about earlier. The old brain, Mavromatis explains, operates in a more synesthetic stage, where senses blur and blend.
Back to synesthesia.
For example, experiences are often felt kinesthetically rather than just passively observed, pointing to a primal, tactile, nuclear sense of perception. It's like seeing with your skin or experiencing sound as a physical vibration.
A more embodied perception. And significantly, the old brain has a natural tendency to confuse the inside and the outside world.
There's that confusion again.
This explains precisely why hypnagogic images and sensations can feel so out there, so external, yet be entirely subjective and internal. This also directly connects to the lucid ego boundaries we discussed, where the self-object distinction becomes blurred.
It all starts to connect neurologically.
Mavromatis also briefly touches on hemispheric lateralization, noting that many hypnagogic phenomena align with characteristics often ascribed to the right hemisphere holistic, artistic, non-linear thinking, intuition.
The creative right brain idea.
However, the book cautions against oversimplification, emphasizing a complex, integrated interplay between the hemispheres rather than strict dichotomies. It's not just one side of the brain simply taking over.
So a grand collaboration then. And now let's get into some specific brain parts that play starring roles in this hypnagogic symphony. The thalamus, for example,
Great relay station.
is positioned as a center of consciousness, acting like the brain's central switchboard, a critical relay station for almost all sensory information. It's shared by both our ancient reptilian brain and our more emotional limbic brain.
It's incredibly central.
Its medial thalamic nucleus is particularly linked to slower rhythmic activities and the very induction of sleep. So it's not just a simple relay, it's like the brain's central traffic controller, deciding what sensory information gets through to your conscious awareness.
A gatekeeper, really.
In hypnagogia, that switchboard starts to soften its filtering, allowing for the raw, unfiltered experiences we described earlier.
Absolutely, it's a dynamic gatekeeper. And then there's the pineal gland, often dubbed the regulator of regulator.
The pineal gland. Always mysterious.
This tiny, enigmatic gland is exquisitely sensitive to light and darkness. Darkness, of course, increases the production of melatonin, which promotes relaxation and sleep, key ingredients for inducing hypnagogia.
So it helps set the stage.
Historically, the philosopher René Descartes famously called it the seat of the soul, believing it to be the principal location where the mind and body interacted.
The seat of the soul. Heavy stuff.
Mavromatis draws a fascinating link between its activity and the ancient caduceus symbol, the staff entwined with two snakes representing liberated consciousness, the unity of seemingly opposite aspects of man, with the pineal at its energetic center. It's a powerful symbolic connection.
That's a beautiful, almost mystical metaphor for what's happening in our brains during this state.
It resonates with a lot of symbolism.
And finally, Mavromatis proposes that hypnagogic experiences are shaped by what he calls brain fields. These aren't fixed locations, but rather shifts in consciousness concentrated around different brain areas.
Fields of activity, not just spots.
A general shift to what he terms the reptilian level would, for instance, lessen internal-external distinctions, leading to those blurred boundaries. In contrast, a shift to the cortical level would sharpen them.
Different dominant fields create different experiences.
It's like your consciousness itself is a fluid field, moving and reshaping based on which parts of your brain are most active at any given moment, creating those unique, raw, and unfiltered visions we experience. It's a dynamic, living map of your inner world.
A constantly shifting landscape of awareness.
So we've journeyed through the astounding landscape of hypnagogia, from its dancing lights to its profound connections to genius and mystical states, and even explored the incredible brain chemistry behind it all.
Been quite the trip.
But what does this all mean for you? How can you actually use this incredible knowledge in your daily life? The implications, Mavromatis reveals, are vast, impacting everything from your everyday well-being to your biggest creative breakthroughs.
Bringing it back to the practical.
We've explored the depths. Now let's talk about the practical heights you can reach.
Mavromatis goes beyond mere theoretical description. He outlines clear, actionable, practical, and research implications. This isn't just theory. It's a tangible roadmap for deeper self-understanding and practical application.
Good, actionable stuff.
First, and perhaps most immediately beneficial, are the significant therapeutic uses. Hypnagogia, by its very nature, is inherently triply relaxing. Physically, emotionally, and intellectually.
Triple relaxation. Sign me up.
He suggests that even short, intentional hypnagogic naps, those moments of conscious drifting at the edge of sleep, can be a potent antidote to modern stressors, helping combat high blood pressure, stomach ulcers, anxiety, and general neurotic disturbances.
Imagine a power nap that actually resets your mind and body on a profound level, without even fully going to sleep. It's like hitting a mental refresh button.
It can be incredibly restorative.
But it goes beyond just relaxation. It can also offer profound self-insight and improve overall mental health.
Deeper benefits, too.
Mavromatis argues that learning to accept and consciously engage with one's own spontaneous mental processes, those unbidden images and thoughts, fosters genuine self-acceptance and provides invaluable insight into your mental nature.
Getting comfortable with your own mind.
It helps you understand the deeper, often hidden layers of your mind, leading to a much more integrated sense of self. It's like getting to know yourself on a whole new, much more intimate level.
And of course, boosting creativity and problem solving is a huge game-changing application.
The genius button.
As we discussed with Kekulé, Edison, and Dali, deliberately entering and utilizing this state can provide an almost inexhaustible wellspring of novel ideas, elegant solutions to complex problems, and unparalleled artistic inspiration.
Tapping into that source.
Mavromatis also emphasizes its profound role in exploring consciousness itself. It offers a unique, direct window into the workings of the unconscious and preconscious mind, revealing mental processes and connections that are normally completely inaccessible to us in our fully waking, analytical state.
This truly is like a cheat code for your brain, letting you peek behind the curtain of your own mind.
Or the peek behind the veil, yeah.
Hypnagogia, in essence, lifts the filters of waking consciousness, allowing raw elements of experience and vast semantic fields from the deeper layers of the mind to interact, fuse, and create entirely novel entities and concepts.
Unleashing the associative power.
It's your mind making connections you'd never consciously consider, leading to genuine aha moments that feel both utterly surprising and profoundly correct.
That feeling of rightness again.
So whether it's finding inner calm, cracking a tough work dilemma, unlocking your artistic side, or simply understanding yourself better, the tools are right here waiting for you to simply relax and engage.
The potential is definitely there.
So, from the dancing lights and geometric wonders behind your eyelids, to the profound scientific breakthroughs of a Nobel laureate, to visions that echo ancient spiritual practices, hypnagogia is clearly far, far more than just drowsiness.
So much more.
It's a secret landscape within us all, a shimmering bridge between our conscious, logical self and the boundless, often surreal depths of our being. It's a state that vividly reminds us just how much more our minds are capable of than we usually realize, an untapped reservoir of potential.
Indeed. This deep dive into Andreas Mavromatis' exceptional work illuminates that consciousness is not a single fixed state, but a dynamic, multifaceted spectrum.
Always changing, always flowing.
What truly stands out here is the persistent presence and profound significance of this borderland state across diverse cultures throughout history and in the lives of ordinary people and extraordinary geniuses alike.
It's universal.
It challenges us fundamentally to reconsider what we define as reality itself and how our internal worlds shape it. It is a powerful reminder that our internal universes are as vast and mysterious as the cosmos outside us.
That's a beautiful way to put it. And it leaves us with this utterly provocative thought. If so much of human genius, intuition, and even our most profound spiritual and otherworldly experiences emerge from this elusive threshold, what other unexplored territories lie just beyond the veil of our everyday awareness, waiting for us to simply relax, pay attention, and perhaps, with a little curiosity, gently steer? What forgotten capabilities might we rediscover in the quiet moments between worlds, in the twilight zones of our own minds?
Precisely. The act of truly seeing and listening to these subtle yet powerful shifts within ourselves may prove to be the most important exploration any of us can undertake, a profound journey of self-discovery that is accessible to us all every single day.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and maybe, just maybe, keep a notebook by your bed. You never know what genius, what insight, or what beautiful, mind-bending vision is waiting for you at the edge of sleep. We'll see you on the next deep dive.